back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dimma. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in. I don't know why this chicken is crowing, guys. I don't understand what's going on beside my house. Every time there's a chicken crowing, doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, moving on. If you happen to watch this at least halfway through, click the subscribe button because I know you're going to come back. It's just below this video. There's also a link, a subscribe link in the description box. Use it, babies. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys products that I honestly think you don't really need, you know? And I am doing this video because I have gotten a lot of questions from people sometimes who... Do you know the worst part of this crowing is that there's no farm behind my house. So I don't understand why this chicken is crowing continuously. But as I was saying, I'm doing this video because sometimes I get questions and messages from people who kind of just... Guys, sometimes I get questions from people who honestly just feel like they have to have certain things for their makeup to turn out a certain way. And I'm going to just point out like some things that I get questions on a lot that I honestly think that you do not need in your life. Okay, you can do badass makeup without these things. So I'm going to start out with two things that I just feel like looking at them, it's quite obvious that something is not quite right. However, they were both wildly popular here on YouTube at a point. And even up until now, a lot of people still think that they are things that they need. The first one is the silicone sponge, or the silly sponge like it was called here at a point. Guys, I feel like that thing is completely useless. At a point, I know that some people even started substituting with, you know, the little things like the silicone things that come in bras, like push-up bras. Sometimes people started using that, and some people just even started cutting their bras apart, okay, to use that. Guys, you don't need that. I've even seen like different versions of it. There are some of them that actually are shaped like beauty blenders, but the one that I'm going to attach on the screen is the one that I know was very, very popular here at a point. Brands and manufacturers were pushing this heavily at the time, and even still, because there's some companies who still sell these things, they push these because they claim that they don't absorb as much product like foundation, concealers, like your average or, you know, the regular beauty blender does, which to me doesn't make any sense. I understand that some beauty blenders, they absorb way more product than they should, but guys, that does not mean that for you to blend something out seamlessly that the sponge should not absorb anything at all. So what happens with this silicone sponge is that it's just like you're bouncing product around, and to me it's just like pointless. Like for something to blend out, whatever it is you're using to blend this out, even brushes, you know, some of the product should be able to transfer. To me, it was just like getting a plastic bag and saying that you're using a plastic bag to apply your foundation. You know that the plastic bag is not absorbing anything. To me, it just didn't make sense. So if you're someone who is considering this, or if you're someone at a point in your life now where you think that you need something better than the beauty blender, guys, the only thing probably better than the beauty blender, if you know how to use it well, is a brush. You know, you don't need to, I just felt that it was very gimmicky, and I still think that it is very gimmicky. A lot of like makeup brands don't carry them. They don't consider them necessary. They either carry like, you know, your regular sponge or a brush. So guys, you don't need the silicone sponge juice. Okay, so the second thing here that just looking at it does not, like, I just feel like it's unnecessary, are these brushes. I'm going to attach them somewhere on the screen. They kind of look like spoons. Guys, I don't think that they are necessary, and I just design wise, they don't quite make sense to me. If you're someone, for example, who does their eye makeup before foundation like I do, I think that the way that these brushes are shaped, like, it makes it very difficult to get into certain corners and blend things out well. I remember at a point, like, they were so popular that you could get them in 15 different sizes, and you could get an entire kit, like an entire set, a brush set that comprised of these brushes. Guys, I don't think that they are necessary. I think that they just like make you spend unnecessary time on certain steps. You can use your regular brushes to just like, you know, blend things out. Most of the time they're very densely packed, and when you get these brushes in different sizes, you're not getting different uses out of them. They just kind of do the same thing in different sizes. Okay, they are very dense, and I don't think that they make for very seamless blending, if you ask me. So if you're someone who is considering one of these brushes or considering getting a set, abort the mission and just save yourself the stress and get a regular brush set. That is what I think. Next thing would be color correctors, and I'm not saying that color correctors are completely unnecessary. If you're someone who has like very serious hyperpigmentation, and I'm really stressing serious hyperpigmentation, then yes, you could probably get one. Getting one doesn't mean getting, like, I've seen some color correctors that look like red lipsticks or orange lipsticks. I also used to be at a point in my life where I thought, like, everybody was color correcting on YouTube and I thought it was a cool thing. I realized after a point, fam, that if you're using like a full coverage concealer, a full coverage foundation, you don't really need that many layers. You can actually just use like a concealer that is around the same shade as your skin tone to conceal first before going over with foundation. I see people who have flawless skin, sometimes you're on YouTube and even on Instagram, use color correctors, and at the end I'm like, was this even necessary? Especially when they go over it with foundations that I know to be very full coverage. If your hyperpigmentation is mild, or if you don't even have hyperpigmentation at all, you don't need color correctors, guys. Okay, so the last thing, this one people might actually come for me. Everything I'm saying I'm personalizing, and I'm kind of saying the reason why. I kind of believe that these don't make sense from my own personal experience, so my opinions are mine. One thing that I actually think that you can do very good makeup without is setting spray. Some people actually believe that they need it to finish a look. I honestly don't think that you do. I know people who go through several jars, you know, of setting spray, and to be very honest, it probably works for them. It is just something that I, from experience, feel is completely unnecessary, okay? A lot of the setting sprays that people push here, saying that it makes your makeup last a lot longer, I have actually used some of them, some of the very, very popular ones from Urban Decay. You know, I remember at a point using the all-nighter. All-nighter would leave my face a greasy mess. That's what it will do. The only setting spray from Urban Decay that I can actually stand is the De-Sleek setting spray, which is targeted at people with combination to oily skin. But guys, hear me out. I feel like there really isn't any difference. You know, I at least think that I can use De-Sleek and have my makeup still look the way it would normally look if I primed and maybe did powder before foundation. But the only time that I would reach for setting sprays that I find manageable are when I am trying to tone down powder. Like even the ABH setting spray that I talk about a lot here. Like, it doesn't necessarily give my foundation longer wear. If you're considering setting sprays because you think that they're going to make your makeup last longer, I, from personal experience, have not found setting sprays to help my makeup last longer. The only setting spray that I would say kind of like just kind of locked things, like I feel it locked things in place, is the one from Huda Beauty. So you kind of you start out feeling, oh my god, this has locked things in place. But guys, my nose still gets shiny around the same time that it would even if I didn't use it, okay? I personally think that you can get really good wear by using a very good primer or maybe the powder before foundation technique, but then I don't think that setting sprays are essential. So guys, these are things that I consider to be non-essential or a complete waste of money most of the time. I hope you guys found this video helpful and I hope you guys liked it. Give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. I'll see you guys in my next one. Mwah.